Hello wonderful people, my name is Valentine Muga and welcome to Talk It Show. Hello great people, thank you for tuning in to Real Generation TV. I'm your host Valentine Muga and this is Talk It Show. Today on the show I have one amazing person. I have met her in person and she is really doing an amazing work. I can't wait for all of you to hear what she has in store for us today. And you know, we never disappoint. This is going to be great. I hope you enjoy the whole conversation and make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. Always give us your comments, give us your feedback, and let us know if you want to be hosted also. And with that, I'll let her introduce herself today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is June Alfred. Okay, among the many names, so my name is June Alfred, and I'm delightful to be in Real Generation TV today. So we have a talk show generally on what we're going to talk about, and I hope it's going to be a very good, lively conversation.
Yeah, definitely. It is already a good conversation. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We didn't take you for granted. So today on the show, we are going to be talking about a very important topic on women leadership and empowerment. I feel like this is something that has to be dealt with in-depthly. And it has to be given attention. I know there are so many people around saying, oh, you guys are overdoing women. You're overdoing women and girl empowerment and everything. We are not overdoing it. Yes, and let's hear from June. What is your life in leadership like?
Basically, I could say, if I'm allowed, that I've been a leader all my life. From primary to high school to now, I'm a leader in an organization. Though in campus, I've not taken interest in much because I feel there's much different of leadership than I was in high school and primary. There's much of leadership in campus and still thinking about it. But I've been a leader all through my education time, and now a leader in an organization. So basically that allows me to say I've been a leader all my life.
Okay, so you know, born leaders in primary school from class
3. Actually, yeah, I started studying in class 1. I didn't go to all those other classes. I started in class 1.
Shock on us.
Yeah.
Some of us we've gone to PP1, PP2, the new generation ya CBC kwanza.
Yeah.
So what are the stages of leadership that you've taken in ulimaliza primary ukiwa the head girl? There used to be head girl those days.
Yeah, but actually I was not an head girl when I was in primary.
Hey.
I finished primary was when I was a prefect in charge of debate. I think that because I liked arguing and talking so much about issues surrounding the school and everything. So I finished primary when I was in charge of debate. Yeah, so when I went to high school, it started over again.
Okay, when did you start taking leadership seriously?
When I was in high school from 2.
Okay, why? Yeah. Why was there a need for you to take it seriously? Why did it all of a sudden become a part of your life?
First, when I was starting being a leader, like I said in primary, it was for me, it was for fun. Something I felt like being exempted from other duties, like you are not going to do the manual work because you're a prefect and that special treatment. Okay. But when I reached Form 2, I realized that there were other students that were looking up to me, to what I was doing as a leader, following me as an example. Okay. And teachers were also looking up to me, giving an example with me. Okay. So I felt this is something serious, not a joke of not doing manual work. It's something that when you are a leader, people look up to you.
Prefects were high school, you guys used to be watiaji, amfanyi kazi, and we are all paying fees. And that used to really, like, did you ever experience that the regular students, how they used to be like, no, you know, you prefects, you think you're too special?
Actually, that was my main reason of being a prefect in Form 1. I was like, other prefects are not working, and what do they take to be a prefect?
The system has changed. Yeah, prefects, you were just bullies, honestly. So
that was the reason why I became a prefect. But it changed when times goes by, and when I now became the school head girl, They used to
that's
call
in
us
high school
president by then. Yeah, the
I
school
remember.
president. Yeah, they used to call us the school president, and teachers would be like, "Oh, Prezo, do this." The school. At times, teachers would go out on a meeting and leave you to be in charge of the school, and now we feel like that responsibility. So I felt it's something that was big. Not only not doing manual work, but leading, like showing people the way, and it was a big step.
It was a big step for you. So you mentioned that you started feeling like, you know, you are being a role model. There are people who are actually taking you seriously and doing the things that I'm thinking maybe there are people who used to like ape what you're doing. And when that comes in the picture, didn't you feel a need of having your separate, like a separate life from, didn't you ever feel suffocated in the leadership thing whereby, you know, you have to live aware that you have other people's eyes on you?
Actually, it was a burden at some point because you couldn't do something wrong. Like as a prefect in high school, you are always expected to do the right thing in everything, academics, sports, class, everything. Like you are expected to be on top of everything. At times, you know, people can do mistakes, but you know, when you do a mistake and you're a prefect, people view you differently. And when you fail and you're a prefect also, so it comes to that pressure of you want to be on top, you want to lead as an example, you can't make a mistake and all that, and now you want to balance the leadership duties and the academic part of it, so it was like somehow pressure. Yeah. Okay,
so the thing that I got from, you know, leadership in high school, we used to tell, because I was also apparently I was also there, and at times it felt bad that, you know, maybe by there I never used to make those lines, truth be told. I never used to make those lines, and sometimes I hated the food that was there. You get the teacher's food, and I know that in a way was actually unfair to some extent.
Yeah.
But I realized when I came outside here, it's very different. It's very different. You no longer have the special treatment. You no longer have, outside it's very different. Ama, you have a different opinion?
Actually, I think leadership in high school is smoother than the leadership out here.
Yeah, like I agree like 100%.
Yeah, it's very smooth because of the special treatment. Like,
and you have the teachers to defend you.
Yeah, teachers defend you, and they can't even punish you in front of other students.
Like honestly, high school was just something different. So, and that's why today we came enlightening that outside here we are actually now speaking about women in leadership, because you come out here and you're no longer, maybe were you in a one gender school?
Yeah, I was in a girls'
school. Yeah, exactly. You come out here and you're not on, there's nowhere out here in the world you have only girls living in this side of the earth and only men living in this side. Out here we have all genders, and you have to deal with everyone, different ages, different setups, different characteristics, personalities, all mixed backgrounds, everything, and you have to deal with that. And how comes there's now, you know, there's the reason as to why we came out with you and we were like, I think leadership in women is something that has to be taken seriously. When did you come out of that shell of, you know what, I'm just not a mere leader, it's not just about leadership, it's, for me, I'm a female and I feel there's a burden in not being a leader but in being a female leader? When did that boldness of the bold thing, you know, when female became the bold word more than the leader in it?
Actually, it happened when I was still in high school though. There was this student leadership competition in sub-counties, county, and then the national level. And you could compete inter-school competition. The leaders in different schools, you compete, get voted to, and go to another level. So when I reached the national level, and now we're going to vote for the student leader president of all the schools in Kenya. There was that idea of the first position for the president should be a male. And I could see even, okay, for me I had accepted. I was not going for that post because actually I was the youngest in all those people, so age also, people are looking at you and like, you're going to vie for the president, and the way you are that young, the body size and all that, so I accepted. But when we're going for the polling boxes and I see a female name and they're calling and saying, no, you should not go for the president post, that is for a male post.
Who are like, were these like senior people telling
senior them? Actually, I don't know if you experienced it, but the student leaders council used to be a serious thing. It was,
definitely it was serious.
Being handled with the IBC officials, so it was something official. the Ministry of Education could come and all that. So when the ministries and the people in charge of IBC and even those other people in the government, I could say, come and tell you, they see your name in the list of those going for the president post and you're a female, they call you and tell you, no, this post, it's only the male who are going for the president part. So you can start vying as a deputy, as an organizing secretary or a secretary. So I was like, why? And because I feel if somebody is going for that post, he or she feels she's equal to that task, so votes should rule, not somebody telling you to step down because you're a female. So that's why it started to dawn to me that there is something happening in women leadership and male leadership when it comes to leading and being in front as a woman. Yeah,
that is actually sad, because in that level I don't think there was anything that was going to stop a female from actually leading. I can't feel anything that justifies what they were doing.
Because it wasn't even about leading the country. It was about just representing other schools in the county level. But they would prefer to give that chance to a male than instead of like just giving everybody wants to vie, then let the votes count.
Yeah, that is definitely serious. So that is when how old were you? You mentioned that you felt so young.
Not like, okay, I was in Form 2.
Okay.
The end of, now going to Form 2 third term, now going to Form 3. Was I, okay, I can't really say my age, but you can see I'm not that like big bodied, but like I'm skinny and all that, so people could look at you and say you're not going for that post. Actually, by then I was a dining hall captain, which was something very ironical.
I know.
Yeah, a dining hall captain and you're skinny and all that. It was ironical.
Where do you take all the food then?
So when for me, I felt, okay, let me just leave this post and vie for other posts. But there was a girl, actually that girl was from Kisumu Girls, and she was really good. Actually, I recommended her, and she was good. And she was going for the post of the president as to lead now all the schools in Kenya. And she was told, you cannot go for the president post, you have to go for the deputy because you're a girl.
So that is when your journey with being a female leader and not just a leader, that's when it actually came into the picture. Okay, way forward before I come back to when you said you felt you were too young, because I'm not done with that bit. But way forward to now after high school, how did you take it on? You mentioned that you are serving currently in an organization. How did you take it on? Has there been other challenges similar to that biasness that you saw previously while in leadership in high school? Have you experienced the biasness of gender leadership outside high school right now? Yeah,
I have, and it's like I said, high school leadership is smooth. And know how to, like when you are leading an organization, it's an organization that entails both male and female, and some are even older than you. But personally, when I was becoming the lead of this organization, I don't know, I can say I was still new in the organization. I just joined, and some people in there so that I can lead, and they said, June, why don't you go for this post? I came in when now I elected new leaders. And I said, why not? But now it has been different because, like, for example, you are going for a forum and you're introducing yourself. My name is June, I'm the chairperson of this organization. And people are like, how? Yeah. And there are other people, like the male part of it, they feel like this other male. I don't want to mention names, but there is a person in our organization. People think is the leader of that organization just because he's a male, and the way people feel is vocal than me because I'm a female and all that. So it came with different analogy, because now we're interacting with the community and you're a leader, your organization is of both male and all that, and so you have to prove to them that you deserve this post, and it's not easy.
That's something very, very deep that you have
so
highlighted.
For now, as a woman, you have to prove. You
actually have to prove that you deserve it. Not even that you can actually, work so well in it, but to prove to them that you actually deserve being in that post. I mean, owing to the fact that it's an electoral post, what is there to prove? Like, it's already a democratic decision, and there's no way you'd make it up there if you don't have the qualifications. But there's just this push of, you know, you have to prove to us, you have to prove to the community that you are a woman and you deserve it. You don't, it's just not for free. Just don't land there and we are all comfortable with it. But when it comes to a male, he might not even be doing much, but for some reason we feel like, that one is a good one.
True.
You know, so you're experiencing that with someone in the organization, but they're not ideally the leader. Anyway, but I want you, since it is good to recognize your organization, you will introduce your organization to us as we continue. Let us know.
So like I said, I'm the current chairperson of a youth-led organization called Generation Shapers. So it was a community organization, and over time with the evolving and all that, we became a youth-led. So basically we deal with advocacy and like the main thing is just to try and change the current situations of the community. The organization is based in Mathare, and because there are so many things happening in Mathare, especially with women and young people, the youth. So the organization was formed mainly to try and change what is going on in the community. So that is why we call ourselves Generation Shapers. Yeah, so because I was talking about leadership, I won't talk much about it, but we can check what we do on our social media pages, just Generation Shapers.
Wow, thank you. I remember that's where I met you from, by the way. I came all the way there. I was so eager to meet you guys, and I can say you guys are doing good.
Yeah,
and me going there, and I found you there leading, I was like, this is it. I want to see more of this. I want to experience more of other women in leadership, you know, doing good things, doing great works, and I found you in a very good, and I think for me, I got a very beautiful picture from it, because the other guy who was there was really saying good things about you and your leadership. So I was like, gosh, you even have a male who are so supportive of you. So I didn't know this other part, but it's okay. And then recently we all know it's an electoral period. True. And people are campaigning and people chose their running mates, and we had Martha Karua making it to the post of nominated post of deputy president. And since that is not just any post, truth be told,
it's the second leader in command, I think so.
And it's the first time we are having woman being nominated for deputy president since we got independence. Actually, that says something. And has that spoken to you now that you in leadership, you have a connection? Has that spoken to you in any way? Does that mean anything to you that she has been nominated, even if not yet in, but she has been nominated? There's been that light. How has it impacted you?
Actually, I never used to have much interest in politics until recently when she was nominated. I felt like this is something that is new as Kenya and even Africa, apart from Tanzania, of course. This is something that is new, woman being nominated. And when I was looking, there were other people also who are going for that post as the deputy running mate of Azimio. And when she was nominated, I felt like, wow, this is a big that nomination for me was a big step. Even if she's not yet the deputy president, for me that was just a big step. I don't know how other women are taking it out there, but for me, as somebody who's been leadership and seeing how women are being treated in terms of leadership, I felt that was a big step.
Wow, so it indeed was some light, some glimmer of hope that we cannot just brush it. Okay, I challenge you. There are people who say that, actually it's been on the news, that, you know, just one post, you cannot equate it to all the other posts that women have always been given. Why are we not talking about those other posts? So why this post? Those other posts are posts, like, for example, that are obvious. Do you expect a man to be a women representative? So a post like deputy president, it's something that is, actually I've never even heard of a woman trying to vie for a female to be a deputy president.
So other posts like women representative, MCS, and those other posts, they have been there. But there is something that comes in when a woman is like, I don't want to say on top of things, but when she's in the height of leadership. For this is the second person in command in Kenya. So it gives a limelight even for other leaders who felt the post they're doing in the MCA part. Like I know of women that have been in the MCA post for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
And there is need for them to go for other posts.
To grow.
Yeah, to grow. But why do they still go for that post? Because they feel that is where they belong. Yeah, so seeing a woman go for this bigger post and gets nominated, I feel it gives these other women politicians that are MCAs, that are women reps, to go for these other positions. For me, I feel it's something that is more of motivation to other women leaders in these other posts.
Yeah, it's personally I took it at a personal level, and I was like, I ain't dealing myself on the low anymore. True. If I see a particular position and I know I'm well cut out for it, I'll forget my gender. I'll just go for it. It's about the position. It's not about my gender. Yeah.
True.
Anyway, but that's a good one. And as you've been explaining, you mentioned that there are particular challenges that women in leadership go through. I want that to be highlighted, like in depth. Do you have a personal stories with challenges in the leadership as a lady? What is your story when in regards to that?
Personal story, it will start with first women being degraded in leadership, and also a woman who is skinny being also degraded in leadership. Like you can't go for other posts because they feel you're small. So I was saying I left that post because I was feeling I was small. I was made to feel so, but then I was just very young in Form 2. Yeah, I was made to feel so.
Emotional abuse.
You know, when I was young, still in high school, when somebody tells you are too young for this post,
what do you do? Into you.
Yeah, it gets into you,
and you start having self-doubt. You're not the same person who you were when you were like, I can do this. When they start feeding your mind with how small you are, you're too small for it, that's emotional abuse.
Yeah, so when you're made to feel you're small for this post just because of your body.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Limelight. No, there's nothing there about doing it.
True. And another experience now as a woman, like going for, like I said, now when I was a school captain from Form 3 up to Form 4 now, going for this, how do they call it? When you go for other schools to change the programs and benchmarking with other prefects in other schools, and you stand and introduce yourself. Like, my name is June, I'm the school president of this school. I don't know if I should mention my school though, but of this school. And now they feel like you, the school president. But now they don't have a notion because that is a girls' school. But now when you're standing to speak in front of other leaders, they don't give you that much credit the way other, like the male leaders come to speak, to give the same speech. And for you feel my speech was even better than this male candidate, and now they give him more credit just because he's male. And also,
and he's big.
Yeah, and he's big. Yeah. And also when I see like other leaders in other schools that are mixed schools, yeah, because the boy is the school captain and the girl is now the deputy school captain. So this boy is the one that makes decisions. So this girl is just here to
support.
Not necessarily to support, just because the school recommends a female to make it right, to try to bring the equity and the equality in it. So this boy, because he's a male and is the school captain, like everything he says is just right. So you don't have to give much credits to solutions or the things the school decides.
Okay, what I'm decoding from what you're saying is you're not given credit because of being a lady, as opposed to when it's a male doing it. So there's the issue of not being given credit that you actually deserve.
Let me say not being recognized. Yeah, you're just there as that name. You're a deputy school captain, but you're just there. You don't have to make decisions. You just have to be like,
you just have to appear.
Show yourself, appear.
Yeah, they'll do the rest.
So there's no that recognition as a leader.
And you have experienced a lot of that
a lot.
now outside.
A lot. But I can say of late, our organization, we went for a training on GTP, Gender Transformative Action, where we are enlightened on where all this started and how the society views and views women in leadership and the voices of women from way back. And it's dawned to me that this is now an archaic action.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not something that's just started yesterday
So
with Martha Karua. It's something that has been there. And I feel Kenya or the society, there are no people talking about it, so they have made it to be normal.
Made it to be normal. So the awareness is not yet as vigilant as it should be. Yeah? And that is why we are continuing with women empowerment. As much as you keep saying we are overdoing it, we are not yet there, because people like June are still experiencing biasness. People like June are still experiencing being sidelined and not being given credit and acknowledgement, and yet they are serving in leadership with full capacity, and some of them are even exceeding expectations, but you won't just recognize it because she's a lady. And there's something that you've mentioned that is really deep about the judgment about how you look, the being small, and that is actually so deep.
It's deep.
Yeah,
actually, if I was talking about this like some 3 years ago, I couldn't talk about it, but now I can. I think people feel like this is something that is normal, telling somebody you look skinny, telling somebody you're fat. Yeah. Okay, some people take it as normal, but you know, people are different. Like if you just tell somebody you cannot do this because you're skinny, that person will just leave it. But there are people you tell them you cannot do this because they're skinny, and they don't care.
Shuts them down.
Yeah. So I feel people should just normalize knowing what hurts people and what doesn't hurt people, especially on sensitive issues like the body and how somebody looks, how somebody talks. And now nowadays they even make you feel down on how your face look like and how your dental formula is, and those all kinds of things. So it's also a stimulate to how somebody takes whatever they are doing, can make somebody leave what they are doing. So it's something like it's very sensitive.
So on top of being a woman, you have to deal with being a woman who is this way, being a woman who is that way, and that is definitely not okay.
Actually, I feel like the women who have stood up to be in leadership positions, no matter how small those positions are, those women are very strong, because you can imagine what they are going through.
Yeah, I was following up on Pasaris and her stories and other leaders, but Pasaris alumni, she moved my heart, because she said she cannot remember the last time anatoka anaenda ameitwa mahali fora maende aonge. There has to be some bullying somewhere just because she's a woman. And that I just said, this is why I'm never going for very hardcore leadership things. But then I watched, and my mom was like, but you and I said, do you want me to die young, ma? No, you don't. I don't know. Have you ever experienced that phobia where you feel like this is now becoming a dangerous zone? Because we've experienced some lady. I can tell you for sure for free. I've had some friends up there, because see, we are living with them. We're living with politicians. We are living with the governors. They are our neighbors. And I'm telling you for free. Somebody tells you, Val, me, I'm telling you I cannot work without security. You even get strange messages telling you we will send people to harass you sexually, and let us see what will you do. This is something that has happened. Me, I've first hand, like, here is the message, read, this is what we are going, and then unaniambia mimi nienda leadership. Nilisema no. Have you experienced that?
So actually that is the reason why I'm not into leadership now in campus, because when you try to follow up on the leadership story of the girls that have been there, it comes with, I don't know, leadership in campus is more like politics. Yeah. It's not like this soft leadership like in high school. No, your school teachers could come through and all that. So it's something more of real politics. And when you get stories,
even spend money like politicians,
in campaigning, so when you get stories of the girls who are there and the threats they get, and even when you're going home, your competitor, the person you're competing with, threats you, leave this post or else I'll do this. And I don't know why the male or the competitors that are male tend to use this sexual harassment thing to
real.
get into girls, because I don't know, there is no girl who want to be raped just because of a leadership post. They'll just step down. So they're really taking advantage of this type of sexual abuse and raping and stuff.
And like you can see it's so real, because that's where that's the same reason like I backed out of it. And I'm the reason why I mentioned it is because I feel like it's something in to make gear as ladies, because some of us are really great leaders outside the premises of campus. I'm a good leader. Inside, I'm the most silent. In fact, I don't even know what is going on, you know, because there's a lot of threatening, and they tend to use the harassment bit. Okay, have you gotten any threat since now you're doing an organ? Is it only in the organization that you have the leadership going on, or do you have any other program that you're in? And do you have any record of maybe maybe it's not even a sexual harassment, or maybe it's just another challenge that is because it's discriminatory to the fact that you are female?
I won't say much of leadership. Just like I was telling you earlier, now when the society sees that you're standing up and doing things that you are not supposed to do according to them, like being in leadership, doing this and that stuff, they now brand you as a rebel. Yeah, so when you walk around and people know this is that girl that we warned against going for this post, and now it's a rebel. There's also I don't know, but there was an inspiring MCA who was a female in where our organization was. She was like doing the campaigns as normal and all that, but during the nomination time she was beaten up, like beaten with bruises and all that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
So it's something that is happening, and our organization, our office is next to where her office is, and we communicate with her. We have invited some of our girls talks, and she was beaten by the people in the community. And who sent these people in the community? Since there are other competitors who are this other gender. So it's something that is that serious.
That is so sad. That is so sad, and the fact that you have actually seen it happening, I think it's even more scary to just. Now I understand. Like I understand better why you're like, you know, I'm not so much into. I'm just in a play level, because you know you have to be safe.
True.
You have to be safe. You have to actually put yourself first, because you can't go out there get killed. So that's when we now start dealing with the issues fast. Opening up the way and coming out with these issues. I'm still shocked about that person who was beaten. That is like so sad. Any reports that were made, did they get to file a case against it?
I don't think if she filed a case. I don't think if a case was filed.
Maybe when she never even got the chance to.
Yeah. Because the next time I was seeing her, she was coming, putting on dark glasses and all that. Now dissociating herself from a crowd so that people won't notice she was in such an incident. Yeah.
Well, that is sad. True. That is so sad. What is your transformation despite all those other things? What is the place where you say this and this is happening? I'm aware as a woman, I still expect, you know, these things are still happening. They're not yet sorted out. So I am well aware that I can get harassed. I am well aware that I can get abused. I am well aware that something bad can happen to me just because I have chosen to be a leader, and I am not just any leader, I am a female leader. What still sparks you to continue being the leader, the female leader in that, for that matter?
I would say what keeps me going despite of what's happening in women leadership, I feel like so many people believe in me, and apart from what I want, there is something like, for example, me being a leader of an organization, there is a vision that I want to make sure I help this organization succeed in. So what keeps me going is what I want to achieve as a women leadership, and plus I want to be part of the few that will stand up and help change what is going on when it comes to women leadership and the gender thing. So because I feel if every woman now or every girl now steps down because of the harassment and all that, nobody will stand out to speak that this thing is happening. And that is the reason why so many things are happening, because nobody is speaking about them. So people have normalized it. You know, when you don't speak about something, some people think you're okay with it, and that is how it should be. So I feel like when there are people remaining in the women leadership who are going to talk about this, I want to be part of them. So as much as there is challenges, and I also thank the team that we work with, because they always give me their back, and they are always in the front line to educate people on women leadership as much as they are male. That one gives me a lot of confidence, having people that believes in you and you also believing in yourself. So it all matters in the vision that you want to achieve in the end of it all.
Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. I appreciate you once again.
Yeah,
the conversation was lively as you had anticipated. Maybe you can share with us your handles before I sign us out.
Okay, June Alfreds in all the platforms. June Alfreds, June_Alfreds. So just June Alfreds, then Lucy.
Thank you. There has been biasness happening out here, and it's high time we empower ourselves and we allow ourselves to have the courage to rise above the fear, be among the few, as June has said, that will not sit down and let this discrimination and suppression continue. We are being oppressed and we refuse to be oppressed. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed and are enlightened. I hope you are encouraged as a woman out there experiencing what we have talked about, and you feel like, you know, this was that video I was waiting for. I'm gonna go back there and do what I promised myself to do. And that's all. Valentine Muga, your host on Talk It Show. Right.